Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
I'll chip. Oh.
I'm so sorry. Your sacred moment.
How dare you? Talking to Biscuit when I'm about to chip-chipperoo. I'll chip-chipperoo like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight.
Wait, why do I know that song deep in my soul and I know all the lyrics, but I don't know what it's called?
It's called I'll Make Love to You.
Oh my gosh.
By
And it was
Boyz II
in
Men.
that, which you lost your virginity to.
Whoa.
Well, if you're going to give me that information and set me up like that.
First of all, I don't know if I don't think it was like playing when I lost my virginity to. I just remember it being on in the evening.
So uncomfortable right now.
It was the 90s, baby. Chip-chipperoo, everyone. We are here for another episode of Bob's Credits.
There's some love in the air, too. So what a great way to start that.
I mean, isn't there always love in the air when it's a Tina-centric episode?
Yep, if Tina's in the room. Since this is a Tina-centric episode we're going into, would you like some good Dan Mintz fun facts?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dan Mintz was the only person that Lauren Bouchard did not have in mind for casting. So Eugene Merman and Kristen Schaal and John Benjamin, John Roberts, he knew he wanted to cast them. The only person left to cast was Dan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're new to this podcast or you haven't stumbled upon this fun fact before, in the demo for Fox, Tina was a boy named Dan. Right?
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Dan.
So it was actually John Benjamin who recommended Dan to Lauren. And he said, quote, "You've really got to hear this guy's voice. It's so funny." And it is.
It really is.
So Dan Mintz was cast to play an awkward teenage-ish, preteenish boy. Do you want to know the answer to why they changed him from Dan to Tina? They switched the genders.
Yes, please.
One of the major notes that Fox gave the creative team and Lauren Bouchard was that Dan as a character was just simply not there yet. And so from that note, Tina evolved. And I love hearing the why behind big changes in shows, because it's so fascinating to me that one character who was deemed they're not there yet, which as a writer, is just kind of like a fucking gut punch. Like, this character isn't there. You're like, but I put my heart and soul into it. I love seeing a note like that evolving into a lot of people's favorite character from the whole show. Yeah.
And honestly, one of the greatest TV characters of all time, if you ask me.
I agree. I mean, and she just really shines. The boy craziness, the earnestness. It was really the right move.
It's also funny, we shared this at a fun fact at some point in the past before, but Dan Mintz is the only one that doesn't really get asked to do other voices on the show. And he laughs about that. He thinks it's hilarious.
Everyone's like, yeah, so my voice acting career took off. He's like, yeah, no one's asked me to he can't change his voice.
Yeah, it's just his voice. My introduction to Dan Mintz was before I started watching Bob's Burgers. Before
Really?
we started watching, yeah. He was a guest character on like one or two episodes of Silicon Valley.
Oh,
And
fun.
He was this very like just monotone, like boring, like CEO. And it was hilarious, but I had no idea that was like Tina, and I didn't know about Bob's Burgers now. So I would love to go back and watch
I want to
it.
go back and rewatch
Yeah,
that
we
with
should
you.
just watch those scenes with him.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like Dan Mintz.
Me too.
as Tina so
I also want to say, I think we have spoken about this on the podcast. Long time ago, we pulled up a clip on here and it was Dan Mintz recording Tina. And he is also like her in that all the other voice actors are moving their arms and they're talking with their hands. And Dan Mintz is like, his performance is very like Tina running. Like his hands he's just very still. And it just made my heart so happy.
It's just so perfect.
Now that my heart is so happy and full of Bob's Burgers trivia, we have an exciting announcement to share.
Yeah, we teased it last week. And we are very excited to announce this, and I'm going to let you take the lead here because you are the charming one.
Not true, but I'll give it a whirl. We have expanded and updated our Patreon membership options. There are now 4 different tiers you can subscribe to. And each tier has more and more amazing content. Now, one of the reasons why we really wanted to expand this is because we wanted to build the community and make Patreon more of an active community membership. So in some of our higher tiers, you'll see live trivia nights, watch parties, live recordings, thoughts about current episodes that are currently airing of Bob's Burgers. It is going to be so much fun. Head over there and see if any of the 4 tiers tickle your fancy. I bet they will.
One of the things, you were talking about the demo that they did for Fox, and we do commentaries, audio commentaries for episodes and other kind of things, but mostly Bob's Burgers episodes, we're going to do commentaries. And the first one we ever did was the demo for Fox.
So
that's just one thing you get in one of the tiers. There's so much. We have so many fun things and fun options there. And again, like, we love the community and we're just trying to give the community more things to do together as a whole about this show that we love so much and why we love it so much. And sometimes sometimes other people who don't watch the show and don't love it as much don't understand. Everyone here does. So
you will find your people here.
Yeah. We're excited to meet more of you. And
see your faces. One of our tiers, we have Zoom sessions like happy hour hangouts. And one of the higher tiers, you can help us plan our content. So you get to have a footprint in the Bob's Credits brand. Go check that out. It's patreon.com/Bob's Credits. And we can't wait for y'all to join us.
Are you ready for some Bob pun or Max pun?
My showing last week was so bad.
At least you got one at the very end.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. This week we are doing pest control trucks.
Okay.
Are you ready for your first pun, Skylar?
Yes.
A good mice breaker.
Bob's.
Yes. Your next pun is Greta Earwig Exterminators.
Bob's.
Max. I thought you were going to get me for that one easily. Your next pun is walk like a mantis.
Max?
Yes.
Okay.
And your final pun is do it for ticks.
Bob's?
Max.
Ooh, you little tricky, sneaky crumb bum.
Yeah, but you did pretty well. You got a couple of them.
Did I?
You got a couple of them. Better than last week. So there we go. We're improving. That's all we can do.
It's just upward this year for me.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Great. Next week you'll get 3, and the next week you'll get 4. And then only 4 from then on.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Should we get into this episode?
Yes.
Okay. Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for Season 7, Episode 15, please?
The title is Ain't Miss Debatin'. When Tina joins the debate team, Henry manipulates her into dating him. But poor Henry's fate is sealed when a New Zealand exchange student walks onto the scene. Meanwhile, the kids, Bob, Linda, and Teddy, make a film, Meat Man.
This episode came out on March 26, 2017. It was written by Greg Thompson and directed by Mauricio Pardo. A couple things. First is that date, if you recognize it, was the same date as last week's episode. This was a kind of like a double header of Bob's. They did an hour long. And, directed by Mauricio Pardo, who, if you remember, the first episode he directed was The Quirk Deucers with the Quirky Turkey.
Love it.
But I told a whole story of how he and I used to wait tables together at CPK back in the day. So I love seeing his name on these Bob's Burgers episodes. Tell me about this episode. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? I know you love a Tina-centric episode.
Girl, feelings
are scary. Feelings are scary, girl.
I hope people have caught that line from Zeke from Sky Kiss, because it's so fast, but it's so good.
It's a great line. It's featured in some of our merch right now. If you want to go to our store,
I'm definitely buying it for myself.
bobscredits.com/shop.
Episodes like this make me want to be like, Tina's my favorite. Shut up, everybody else. Everybody else are the other voices in my head that are like, no, it's Gene, no, it's Bob.
Very noisy up there.
It's
it's all just voices yelling out their favorite Bob's Burgers characters
all
the time.
Day. This is why I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I think pairing her up with Henry is really fresh and new, and it's a different take on her boy crazedness. Boy craziness. So I love that. I love the B story, this meat film.
Do you love it? How many times did you get grossed out?
But this is what I'm saying. This show has to be this weird to make it this lovable, period.
Sure. Yeah.
But I was disgusted by rotting meat in the restaurant. I was disgusted by it, yet it made me love them more. And the fact, we talked about this last week. If the parents are like, I love how Louise manipulated them into being like, this is your story. Like, you're the protagonist of this film. They're like, let's do this thing. And then, of course, Teddy's there, and he makes it so much funnier. I clearly have strong meat feelings. How do you feel about the B story?
I think the animation helps me separate the grossness of the meat. No. But yes, meat that starts to age and is not good anymore, and it's really gross smell. So I can only imagine the smells with Meat Man as it goes on and on.
But it's also in the restaurant.
Yeah, and then when it explodes and it gets everywhere.
They also were shooting that in the restaurant while there was a customer in one scene. Unacceptable. No, I was really squeamish about it. It's so funny because I love to cook, so I'll do the meatballs. I'll grind the meat, but it's just not my favorite.
I'm glad we dove right into the B story here, because we do have a lot to say about the A story. But
yeah,
one of my favorite parts is it was the first time that you were excited to see Hugo. You were like, thank God. Thank God the health inspector's here. It was so funny. You're like, thank you. You don't like Hugo. Oh, I mean, I don't think you're supposed to like Hugo, but I've never seen someone so excited to see Hugo.
I go, Hugo! Is that what I did last night?
Yeah.
I was so thrilled he was there because that meat was turning gray, and he got on board, though.
He did, and I felt bad for our boy Ron. Just being kind of an afterthought.
Ron. There's a really sweet Ron moment in the credits.
Yeah,
that I'm excited to talk about.
He gets his little credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We're getting ahead of ourselves. It reminds me of when they shot their own commercial.
Totally.
The same like sets and stuff.
Yes. I love how creative the kids are. And I think they get that from Bob. He is very creative. Like even going back to Baby You Can Chive My Car burger. He has always wanted a family where he could express himself creatively, and it wasn't allowed in his house. And now he lets his kids do this shit. It's great.
With rotting meat.
Yum.
And we should also add that the reason they got that meat was because it fell on the floor in the first place. Like that's why they could play with it. So it's already like filthy.
Yeah. Disgusting. But that felt like such a true, I'm not even a parent, but it felt like such an honest parenting moment where Jean's like, where's my backpack? And they're like, please don't leave your backpack out. And then Bob trips over Jean's backpack and loses 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it's a lot. And no anger from Bob. Bob,
Yes.
wow. He's really, I think he's learned a lot from his father about how he doesn't want to father.
But he acts on it.
Yeah.
He really doesn't get angry in inappropriate ways. We all get frustrated. Like, we're human. He's not supposed to be a perfect human, but I love that about Bob.
Just the greatest dad of all time.
Agreed.
The meat, it has to be everywhere. Throughout the house, throughout the restaurant now, they're going to be finding little pieces of rotting meat forever. I don't know how you get that all out of there with how many locations they were in and it exploding and stuff.
I'm just so glad this isn't a live action show.
Yeah.
Like, even for the person who has to clean this up. So
I'm glad they weren't consistent with that as far as we love all of Bob's consistency and like continuity, but
me
pointing
too.
out that there's like rotting meat in the restaurant would not be fun.
No. All right. Let's go to this A story. I think it is superb and wonderful. And let me hear your thoughts, Max.
Well, I think we have a big character introduction in this one. I think Duncan is a standout character. He's not in that many episodes. I think he's in 1 or 2 after this.
Oh.
But people love Duncan. He's just a standout. And I think it's because of his accent.
Yes.
His New Zealand accent. I love New Zealand accents.
He's so stupid.
Yeah, and cheery.
And I love him. I'm like, let's be best friends.
So he's voiced by a wonderful and hilarious New Zealand actor, comedian, Rhys Darby, who you know and I know from Our Flag Means Death on HBO. If you aren't watching that show, you should. But he's the lead. He's Stede Bonnet on Our Flag Means Death. Yeah, but you might, if you watched Flight of the Conchords, he's the Conchords manager. He's in the What We Do in the Shadows movie as one of the werewolves. He's just hilarious. Very funny
What a
guy.
career.
Yeah. So great voice acting there.
It is so lovable. And I remember that very funny Christmas line that Tina says. She's like, "Dear Santa, Lord and Savior." I can't remember what she actually says. She's like, "Please gift me a calendar of Australian firefighters." So he's not Australian. He's a New Zealander. But I understand why Tina's
They're close to each other.
boy alarm is sounding off the wall.
Yeah, it's also, she kind of rebounded. She was rebounding with Henry because she's off again with Jimmy Jr.
Let's talk about Jimmy Jr.
Ugh.
They set this episode up very well and quickly. Jimmy Jr.'s off showing how he can kiss his elbow to some other girl. How do you feel about Jimmy doing that?
First of all, that is such a little boy thing to do.
Yeah.
And to want to show off to a girl.
Yeah.
So I think that's hilarious. But
yeah, he's
Jimmy,
also 13.
Yeah, Jimmy JJ, no. And I'm glad Tina went and moved on.
Me too.
I don't like that she settles.
I don't like that Henry manipulates her to going into a date. I find that gaslighty, I guess. I don't know.
He's not great, Henry. A good character, voiced by Jim Gaffigan, who's a hilarious comedian. But yeah, I don't like the two of them together. I'm glad she has this sexy Kiwi to come and remind her that she needs a little more passion in her life.
She'll always remember the sexy Kiwi.
Speaking of new characters, we meet a new Wagstaff teacher in this episode.
The debate teacher.
Yeah, Mr. DeSanto, voiced by Nick Kroll.
No!
Nick Kroll, Nick Kroll is also on Our Flag Means Death at a certain point. He was in like 2 episodes.
Oh, that's right.
No, 1 episode.
Super fun.
Yeah. Another voice actor we have back is Keegan-Michael Key is back as Todd.
Yes.
Who's on the debate team, who we last saw in Gene It On, season 4, episode 20.
Oh, is he on the cheer squad?
I think he might have been. Yeah, I think so. Or he was like trying to be on it or something. Yeah.
Wow, he's I bet he's trying to get into Harvard or something. He is like checking all the extra curricular activities.
Yeah, I remember doing that kind of like in panic mode.
You
in
did?
11th grade. Yeah. Oh, I got onto like, I ran for school government. I got treasurer, which is like, by the way, when you're treasurer as a student, you're not doing anything. You're not controlling any money.
I would never peg you for someone who ran for student government.
I did it. I did it in 6th grade at elementary school.
Sure, fine, whatever.
And I did it. Then I did the same thing in like to try and get it for college applications. And I won both times.
Naturally.
No one's running for treasurer. It's a good one to go for if you don't.
You just had to get something.
Yeah.
I was recently tagged in a Facebook post from like my class group from high school. And I just saw I clicked on it to just refresh myself what the group was. And our senior slogan, what our class slogan was posted there. Would you like to know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I graduated in 2008, and our class slogan was, we came, we saw, we ate.
Okay.
Like, because we like to eat.
Okay, yeah, well,
We
that makes
ate a
sense.
lot.
That makes sense. Wow.
I feel like Jean would be really proud of that.
Yeah, that is an interesting slogan for...
Like it more.
I love it. I love it. It's just interesting.
Why is it interesting?
We came, we saw, we ate.
Because 2008.
Got it. Yeah.
Well, it's hilarious, and I'm sorry if you don't understand it.
No, I get what the pun is. I hear it.
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
with you.
class treasurer.
Look, class of 2000, baby. Class of 2000.
Whoa.
There's our age difference. What else?
I love seeing Tina be shit at debating, and then it's like when she gets addicted to espresso or she's really impassioned about her horses or something. I loved seeing her transform into a really amazing debater fueled by her scorn for Jimmy Jr.
Yeah, it's a great reason to be motivated by anything. Anger can be a good motivator.
Sure, maybe not healthy.
I don't think it's the healthiest, but I do think it can kind of like spark something, light a spark under your ass.
And I think I've said this before, but I love seeing Tina thrive.
Me too. And to see, like we've said with Dan Mintz, whose voice is so emotionless, pretty much, to have some emotion is great.
Agreed.
The title of this episode, Ain't Miss Debatin', is a play on a song from 1929 by Fats Waller called Ain't Misbehavin'.
Love it.
What's the song from The Righteous Gemstones? Isn't Misbehavin' in there?
Misbehavin'.
Oh, good song. If you don't know that one, go look it up. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into the end credits?
I just freaking loved this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, the sunsets.
Oh,
the animation of the sunsets.
There was really good sunsets in this episode.
Love seeing Sasha again.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that Sasha is back.
I love his stupid sunglasses on his stupid blonde hair and his stupid boat shoes.
John Daly doing the voice of Sasha is so good. He's such a bastard.
And we can move on after this because I think I've professed my love for this episode enough. But Duncan is just really funny when he's like asking if anybody wants his chest hairs. It's hysterical. Or how Sasha said he hit puberty because the flight is so long from New Zealand that he went through puberty during the flight. I mean, it was just great. High quality writing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And again, that accent just makes everything Duncan says funny. I think that's like Rhys Darby's a very funny guy as is, but that accent makes him so much funnier.
It's hysterical.
Okay, should we get in these end credits?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the last moment before...
I love this moment.
I know.
FYI.
Before the end credits is the family where I love them in the living room, all on the couch, but Jean's on the floor. They're huddled around their laptop. Bob is so serious about this. They're watching the movie that they've made.
I just want to put a pin in this moment because that's not the right way you use put a pin in it, but I'm going to. I think this reaction to this film might have to do with what we were talking about earlier, that He craved being seen as a creative meat man in his childhood, and he did not get that. And all of a sudden, he's seeing, quotes, himself reflected back.
Oh, wow. That's so deep.
Let's see. Let's see if that makes sense.
You're right. This is a Bob autobiography, this movie.
Ugh, I would read that.
Here comes the boffo ending, Dad.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, you identify with Meat Man.
I just think it's a good movie, Len.
Everybody does. It's the best movie.
Mom, you have old meat in your ear?
That's collectible. Save it.
Tell me what happens there. First of all, Linda, rotting meat in your ear, so gross.
No, but Louise's line is hysterical.
If I was in that room with the exploding meat, I would be in the shower for the next 3 days straight, scrubbing every crevice possible.
Sure. For sure.
But that's not Linda, and that's fine, and I love her for it. Tell me what happens as we get into these end credits.
All right, so it's very meta here. In our end credits, we get Louise's Meat Man's end credits. They are clearly the exact credits that were probably attached to her film. And their hand-drawn cards make up the credits of the names. And we have some stop-motion Meat Man.
Oh, man, we should talk a little bit about stop motion.
I don't know what is wrong with me. I find stop motion so creepy.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I think it's out of this world. I find it utterly creepy. I tried to watch the Pinocchio, the new one.
The Guillermo del Toro one.
So creeped out.
Yeah. I think it's either hit or miss for me, because sometimes it is really creepy, but sometimes it's well done. I like Coraline. Is that stop motion?
Still creepy,
right?
but it
works
for it, I guess.
I like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Same thing again.
Yeah, I guess if it's kind of supposed to be weird.
Yeah.
But then I also have so much respect for it, because I think the patience it takes and the time it takes to is
100%.
If you want to do that, that's great. But I'm like Gene in this at the beginning of this one, where he goes, would they take 2 pictures? Okay, I'm bored.
1,000,000%. I mean, Louise has concentration for a 9-year-old. Damn.
Yeah, if you can do it, more power to you.
Yes.
I don't have the attention span.
And then make credits. Whew.
Yeah. So we get the first sign that says, just like Meat Man, the title, and it says starring Meat Man. And then we get some stop motion of Meat Man just kind of walking in the basement.
Yeah. And I just want to say that the flecks of fat in this meat are absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And his face turns for a close up to the camera, and it's terrifying. He looks like a Taffy Man from the Belchies episode
100%.
Way back when.
100%.
And then we also get this little theme song I guess they made.
Ooh, I love it. Maybe Gene wrote it.
Yeah, it sounds like Gene was recording everyone when they were talking, because there's a bunch of lines thrown in there too. So who knows?
Love it.
Does
Okay, hold on
this
just
meat
a
man have a
second.
name?
Yes.
The fact that she puts Mom as Lorna instead of Linda as Lorna reminds us once again that this is a 9-year-old, and that was the cutest thing ever. Sorry.
So cute. And then we get a close-up of the Lorna doll that was used.
Yes.
Followed by Poop-Off
And I
as himself.
I also want to mention that these title cards, actual cards, they're kind of shaking because the stop motion isn't that great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Meat Man.
I like that.
Oh.
So then we get the Poop-Off toy figure coming towards the camera, and we get another credit that says Best Boy Gene, who, yes, he is
Indeed.
the best boy.
Yes.
Followed by something that made Skylar sick. Mm-hmm. Tell me.
They've kept the continuity of the graying meat.
Yeah, he's rotting.
Yeah, he's rotting. And all these little scenes we're seeing, we did see them film in the episode, which is fun.
Yeah, this is actual POV from their phones they were shooting. And so what is this shot of Meat Man rotting?
He took off on his motorcycle and his rotting body started falling apart.
Yeah.
Meat Man Man's a survivor. No, he's not fancy.
Okay, so then we get Meat Man fighting Poop Off, the villain, followed by the classic Spider-Man upside down kiss that Tobey
Meat kiss.
Maguire and Kirsten Dunst did, but with Meat Man and Lorna. And then we get written, produced, and directed by Louise, followed by Meat Man and Lorna in the convertible driving through the scenery.
It's a love story.
He's just a proud, independent hamburger man. And when he talks, people listen.
Okay, what did we see at the very end there?
Special thanks to Hugo. And then, like, as an afterthought, a little extra piece of paper on the title card that says, and Ron.
Great little touch and nod to that joke from earlier.
We also get to hear Louise's writing, which we didn't get to hear a lot of in the episode, and it's phenomenal.
What do you mean by her writing?
Like her voiceover.
Oh yeah,
describing who Meat Man is. It's really good, and it's very genre specific to, you know, action movies or whatever.
Highlights and lowlights to these end credits.
I didn't notice the mom thing the first time I watched it, so that really warmed my heart. And I love hearing Louise. She's a good writer.
Yeah, I like the Meat Man theme.
Oh, so good.
It's like you said, like it feels like Gene could have come up with that theme himself. Like that's how much it feels like it's like a kid's brain came up with like an action movie theme.
But it's also really good.
Yeah, it's great. And sometimes I feel like when they just take excerpts from dialogue from the show and put them in a song, it's not my favorite.
But I don't think those...
They are.
They are? Every single thing?
Yeah. It's all pretty much
Yeah,
just
I
dialogue.
get it. And the scenes technically are from the show.
Yeah. But I really like the song itself. And I like how it goes with all the stop motion. I'm glad I love that we get to see what they were shooting this whole time.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. And it's cool, like, Louise is good at so many things that people often theorize, what is she going to be when she grows up? The show itself in season 13 theorized all these different jobs she could have. She could absolutely be a director. She really could.
I could see her being a producer more. She'd probably be a great producer.
Yeah.
Should we score them?
Yeah.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's
I'm going to give them an 8.5.
I'll meet you there. 8.5. I appreciate it. I think throughout the whole episode, we did want to see what they were shooting. And I think this is a cute way to kind of like just give us...
It's adorable. It's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah. And I love, like you said, the little touches. Like I love Mom as Lorna and I love and Ron. Like we got to get Ron in there. I made this thing for Hugo. And I got to get Ron. I'm sure Teddy's upset he didn't make it in the credits.
Oh my God.
Louise probably broke his heart.
He was the freaking explosives man.
Yeah. Do I wish we got more Duncan and he was in the end credits somehow? Yes, but I think getting to see the Meat Man,
it was the right move.
Whether it's the trailer or the end credits, I guess it's the end credits, is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So those are the end credits to
Love
Ain't
it.
Miss Debatin'. Thank you everyone for listening. Go follow us on social media, Bob's Credits, Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all the good stuff. And we already pitched that Patreon that's up there. That's brand new and we think you should check it out.
Patreon.com/Bob's Credits. That's patreon.com/Bob's Credits.
And anything else you want to say to everyone before we get out of here?
I don't know. I'll just say stay. I'm going to make up a New Zealander term. Stay tippity toppity, yeah?
Oh, that sounds good.
Thank you.
I like it. You could have told me that's what they always say.
Tippity toppy.